Am I late? Am I not on time? Well, I mean, it's normal, right? Because if I was on time, then you guys would be like, "Is this V's show? Are we actually watching V if he is on time?" He's like, "No, who are you and what have you done with him?" Right? So, anyway, I found a car broken into in San Francisco randomly that was belonged to one of the guys that fell into Zoe's swamp hole. Also, I might have been hit by 2 degrees. What? I'm reading the chat. It doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. Am I muted? No, I'm not muted. Damn gaslighters. They're gaslighting everything. By the way, I'll tell you something hilarious which is happening in the gaming industry right now in the United States of America. Um, did you guys know that America has this backwards thinking when it comes to hiring and firing practices? So basically, if you have, let's say, a warehouse and you want to hire some people for your warehouse, if 8 men apply and you hire 4 of them, then you're sexist. You're sexist because you didn't hire women. It's your fault for not advertising in a way to entice women to carry on heavy stacks of cargo into the warehouse, right? So you need to fix that shit. They don't care how. They need to fix that shit. If 8 white men apply and you hire 4 of them, you're racist. Again, it's the same thing. Like, you didn't advertise correctly, right? Like, you needed to fit 4 African Americans at least in order, right? Now, let's say that you actually do have the percentage correct for like the applicants that they fit on the American demographic perfectly, right? So you have like 30% black people that apply. You have, whatever number of Latinx apply, so on and so forth, right? So you have like the perfect demographic. But obviously, like, who do you hire? Well, you need the test, right? Like, you need the test in order to see like who's fit for the job, because you have so many applicants. You can actually be picky. You can be choosy. So you have a test that's like, all right, well, if you work in my warehouse, you gotta show me that you can pick up this package. Because, like, that's what you're going to do all day. You're going to be stacking packages. I want to see you guys pick up the package. So you're going to hire the people that pick up the package the better, right? Like, the ones that do it faster, the ones that don't seem to strain themselves while doing it. Well, now you're a misogynistic, sexist pig. It's because you didn't hire women. Now, if women couldn't pick up the package as well as the top applicants, then the test itself is sexist. I'm not kidding. Like, this is mental retardation. This is how they genuinely think, right? So, I, for example, if I can't pick up the package, I should believe that the employee has created a test that's, like, racist towards Romanians. Or fatphobic or whatever the fuck. It's not that this is a test. That's also for my own safety. Like, if I can't do the bare minimum, if I can't pick up the package, then how do I expect to work at a warehouse? Like, I'm going to get injured. And not only that, like, the people that do work better than me are going to be demoralized, because they're going to be like, why are we working 3 times harder than V while getting paid the same wage? Like, how is that fair? Gamergate 2.0, let's go, Fetus Deletus. Welcome to the gift of... Thank you for becoming a member, American Outlier. I always thought you were a member. This is weird. But anyway, the reason that I'm mentioning this is that, as you may know, video game companies, like AAA companies, are now firing people. It turns out that if you're not able to sell the product, you gotta fire people. I haven't gotten sass from a game developer on Twitter for 2 years now. Funny how that works. Like, when the companies were profitable and they were making money, oh my god, they were giving sass and they were lecturing people on politics even more so than CNN. Now they all shut the fuck up. Funny how that goes. So, you got, like, all these people getting fired. And immediately when that happens, you have journalists doing studies, right? Like, they want to study the cock and pussy, the percentage, the heritage, the human genome. Like, they're bringing Nazis to look at the descendants and the family trees. They're like the Starks going through, like, Robin Baratheon, black of hair, like that type of thing. And they're noticing that, okay, well, they're not being fired based on race, they're not being fired based on sexuality. Oh, a lot of women are getting fired. A lot of it, not good. Not good. So obviously the companies that were using women almost as a medal, like they would come out online and say, oh, we managed to hire like 40% women at our company. And I'm like, why aren't you saying like how many games you sold? Why aren't you saying like what, how many awards you got? Like what why does anyone even give a fuck about what's happening behind the scene? Like when I buy a loaf of bread, I don't give a shit how the baker looks like, who he fucks, and like none of that matters. Right? It's the same thing when I read a book or I play a video game. I generally don't care. When I read a manga, I don't even know how the creator looks like. I don't care. Right? Like, it's not, no customer ever makes a purchasing decision based on that. So anyway, they were like all these companies that were rolling with the feminism car 2 years ago, all of a sudden they become misogynistic in nature. So I am to believe that you have like a woman that's like a very skilled developer, she's crunching the numbers, she's spending time at the company, she really loves the product and the IP, but they're going to fire her in exchange for Bob. And Bob is like this lazy type of individual, always leaves before it's time, like he's slacking, but he's a man, right? Like this is what the studies led you to believe. The reality is different. The reality is that one of the least inclusive places in a corporation, one of the most sexist departments in any corporation, is the HR. HR hires almost exclusively women. It's almost like 80%. I looked at a statistic. It was like 75-80% women. Most of them are white as well, right? So like you're not going to see a diversity officer that's a white man. I'm pretty sure he must exist like somewhere, someplace, just to show that it's possible. But overwhelmingly speaking, like if you're a white man and you want to be a diversity officer, good fucking luck. It's like being a woman and wanting to be a Catholic priest. Not gonna happen. And when they realize like, okay, well, we need to cut costs. They're not going to cut costs with the developers that are actually working on the game. They're going to cut costs with the HR department because like you can still make a product without HR. Like take into account that Doom, the first video game that was a first-person shooter, didn't have a single HR department. They didn't have none of that. It just had like some developers that were passionate and made the product. So like one of the reasons that many women are being fired is because they're getting rid of HR. And the HR is overwhelmingly dominated by women, so therefore. The other thing that's happening is that when you look at the women that they hire, like a lot of people, a lot of gamers are getting the wrong idea that women can't make entertainment. This can't be further from the truth. Look at anime, look at manga. Like how many times did you not see leftists on Twitter freak the fuck out and foam at the mouth because like, oh, this manga is sexist, and then they find out that a woman wrote it. In fact, it's getting to the point where I, being involved in what I do, I am now able to tell if a lewd picture was drawn by a female artist or a male. Here's how I do it. And I'm right like 60% to 70% of the time. Like very rarely I'm wrong. If you're looking at a lewd picture and there's a lot of detail on the breasts, there's a lot of detail on the clothing, and if the man is domineering, almost all the time, there are exceptions, but almost all the time, it's a woman that's an artist. Men draw it different. It's not like bad or wrong. It's just like differently, right? So my point is, women can make entertainment. Women can make money. Women can write good stories. We noticed this with the manga. We noticed this with the anime. We noticed this with Amy Hennig. Amy Hennig, for those of you who don't know, she was an elderly lady. I think she was in her 40s, 45. And she's responsible for the Legacy of Kain series, Uncharted. You may have heard of those games. I think she even had a little bit to do with The Last of Us, the first game, not the second, and not the DLC. So Amy Hennig goes to an interview, and she basically says that, the interviewer like tries to feed her the feminist bullshit. It's like, isn't it that it's hard to be a woman in the gaming industry? Don't you get oppressed? Don't you get oppressed all the time? And she goes like, no, I've never been oppressed. everyone was nice to me. Every single time that I wanted help, I got help. Like, if anything, being a woman in gaming was something that helped me out. They hated that. They absolutely despised that. She got replaced by Neil Druckmann. So Neil Druckmann, male feminist who talks about, oh, we need more women in positions of leadership, we need to empower women, blah, blah, blah. He replaces the role of a woman. Obviously, we don't know what happened there because NDAs and stuff. But I don't think she was happy that she left the company. Anyway, right, so that's Amy Hennig. Gina Carano, another example, right? So, like, why did Gina Carano got fired? She was the perfect fit for the role. Loved Star Wars. Her body actually looked and made me believe that, yeah, like, this is a woman that could be a soldier. Like, her body build was built in the sense that, yeah, like, it was believable. Like, when she was on screen and she was firing her laser rifle, I could say, yeah, no, that's possible. She wasn't like a scrawny, you know, little... No, it was like, yeah, I can see that this is a woman which is a mercenary. She's not a human. I think she was a Mandalorian or something. But whatever. Like, she was believable. She was fit for the cast. The fans loved her. Everyone liked her. She was sexy, charismatic. Disney fires her. Who does Disney like? Oh, they like Rachel Ziegler, the one that plays Snow White, who hates the IP, hates the fans, very vocal on political divisive issues on Twitter. Antagonistic. So what is my point? My point is that they weren't hiring women, they were hiring ideology. They were, hello, aristocratic with this. They were hiring people based on ideology. Hi V, hope all is well. Sweet baby still experiencing the bird disaster. Any other companies popping up or be waiting for the smoke to clear? I think Sweet Baby managed to get into the public eye because they were so arrogant and antagonistic. Like, they had people that... Like, it's not enough to grift, right? If I were in a position to grift, I would keep my head fucking down. I would be like, okay, I'm grifting, so I'm shutting the fuck up. Just give me the money, give me the cash, and let me grift. These people weren't just that. Like, they were grifters with an ideology. Like, they were grifters, but... they also had to give sass to people on Twitter and be antagonistic. That's how they got discovered. It's like that goat on Twitch. You know, the one that goes like, I have all the power and no one can do anything to me. And when I get in charge, I'm going to start banning people. And it's like, okay, had you shut the fuck up, people wouldn't look at your history. Your likes are public. No one would talk about you, you know? Just shut the fuck up and do your grift. You don't have to talk. You don't have to just shut the fuck up. So anyway, my point was, they were hiring these women based on ideology. Like, they weren't hiring talented women. They were just hiring women so that it's a PR campaign. So that they go and say, oh, our company hired like 45% women this year. So progressive. Oh, we're the most progressive gaming company. We can't sell shit, but we're very progressive. Don't look at our sales. Don't look at how many people play our game. We're progressive. So now they're firing the people that they wouldn't want to hire in the first place because they weren't advertising to the gamer. They weren't advertising to the consumer. They were advertising to the investor. Aborto the Sweet Baby. By the way, like, such a dumb name for a company as well. Jesus fucking Christ. But it goes in line with progressive thinking. Like, they always want to appear harmless. They're some of the most vicious people on the internet, but they want to appear harmless. Like when you look at a progressive person on Twitter, he's got usually like a CalArts cartoon thing, or if it's a man, he's hugging a kitten, or he's doing the soy face, you know, like all this stuff. And then when you look at what he does, it's like, fire this person, ruin their livelihood, bring down the wrath of the internet upon them, dox. It's like, this is how they behave, right? And it's like, but they want to pretend that they're harmless. It's like, they're just sane individuals, nothing to question, no, everything is fine. That's a meme. Someone pointing Sweet Baby to a Planned Parenthood. Oof. Thank God that the grift is not enough for them. They also want power. Yeah, no, like, unironically, the localizers are the best grifters ever. The localizers, they pretend, unironically, like, when you talk to a localizer on Twitter, they're acting as if they're sent from Jesus on earth to provide quality entertainment. They're acting as if they're the ones making the anime. Did you guys see the level of arrogance? Holy shit, like, I don't think rich people are as arrogant as a localizer. Like, what is a localizer but a person surrounded by cats, alone, miserable in his house, drenched in cat piss? These are the individuals that have access to a laptop, if they can move their morbidly obese ass towards it, and they act like they're I don't know, like the nobility in society or something. Like, holy shit. Dude, I know university professors, okay? Like, I spoke with actual university professors, people that have a PhD at prestigious university. They weren't as arrogant as the localizers. Although, to be fair, I always said that the university, the most arrogant people that you can find are either the university professors with PhDs or the cleaning lady. Every single fucking time. I don't know why that is. It's like the cleaning lady, like, she acts like she owns the fucking university. Like, she will be like, no, not on this hallway. I just cleaned. You will use the stairs. And I'm like, do you know who the fuck I am? Usually, like, you don't talk to them like that because they may actually be a professor. Right? When you hear someone talk like that, it's like, not this building, not this wing. You're not allowed to walk on this hallway. You take the stairs. You're like, she's either a professor or a cleaning lady. Yeah, no, like, seriously, like, they talk with, like, such a level of arrogance. It's not fucking real. I never understood why. I think, like, one of the reasons is that in a lot of universities, in order to bribe a professor, you go through the cleaning lady, right? Like, you give money to the cleaning lady and she takes a cut and she gives it to the professor. I'm not kidding. So maybe that's why they're so arrogant that they think they own the place. But I did see, like, cleaning ladies giving sass to the staff. Like, not other professors, but, like, she would give sass to people that were, like, university assistants and lecturers, and, like, what the fuck? Doesn't make any sense. But anyway, the localizers are like that. They're like the cleaning lady. Like, your job is to do a translation. Like, you're not special. You're not doing something that's like nuclear physics. You're not the Heidenberg. Like, what the fuck? So, their job is to just do a translation, but they're acting as if they're the ones that created the anime. They give so much sass. And they treat the user with disgust and disdain. It's bewildering. Like, what the fuck goes in their head? That's how they managed to get such a bad reputation. It took years of farming in order to get to the place where they are, like, some of the most disdained people on the internet. You don't get, like, it's not easy to get there. I can't do it overnight. Even I know how to do it, but it would take a lot of time. The cleaning lady does provide something useful. That is correct, yes. The cleaning lady is a necessity. Most professors are luxuries. It is true, there were some professors that were luxuries. Like, for example, the psychology professor. Like, why the fuck do I need psychology in med school? And he taught us the most useless shit ever. It's like, here's what Sigmund Freud has to think. And I was like, well, Sigmund Freud is a cretin that belonged in a mental hospital. Like, what does he mean that I wanted to have sex with my mom? Like, Sigmund, can you stop projecting, please? How the fuck are you actually considered a renowned psychologist? I'm not kidding, right? Like, listen. I will tell you what I learned in med school in psychology, alright? So, this was an experiment, okay? Like, this is what psychologists do for a living. Like, if this is not pseudoscience, I don't know what fucking is. So they would ask you to draw a tree, right? And you, like, just do this, like, whatever, you know, because I'm not a perfect artist, but, like, I'm drawing a tree, right? And apparently, like, if you draw a branch like this, like, you draw a branch on the tree, this is, you may be a homosexual because you just drew a penis. What the fuck? You know, like, what are you talking about? Oh, if you draw this, and like, dude, are you fucking insane? And then they would say, well, if the tree has deep roots, it means that you care about your family. What type of leaf reading shit is this? It's like reading leaves into the teapot. Like, what? Interpreting dreams and whatnot. Like, what the fuck? Here's the protection bodyguard. I don't know if I can protect you. Do I have any psychologists in the chat? Is this like was my professor smoking pot when he taught us this? Or is this like something that is actually like internationally renowned? Sigmund had some good ideas, but you can tell exactly when he did a line of coke. Yeah, no, like seriously, let me tell you about Sigmund Freud. This is why I don't respect psychology almost at all. Like, Sigmund Freud literally believes that there is a point in time when the son tries to kill the father in order to have sex with the mother. I'm not kidding. I'm not... Dude, listen. It sounds batshit crazy, but it's true. Like, he says that this is happening subconsciously, right? So, like, you don't really realize it. But when you reach the level of the level of puberty, like that's what you're thinking. And I'm like, Sigmund, you belong in a mental institute. I think that's a you thing. I think that's what you thought, and therefore you believe that everyone else thinks like you. Like, you may think that you're normal, and by definition, if you're normal, other people are like, no. How the fuck is he called a renowned psychologist? And why do you study him is what I don't get. Hey V, I have proof that Google programmed Gemini AI to deny and defend certain genocides. My latest video covers it. I'll have to give it a watch. God. My mom actually reads tarot cards and it's 70% accurate. Stop degenerating the old ways and comparing them to Freud. I think that Freud made up the Oedipus complex to use against bullies that called him gay. I don't fucking know, but like, why hasn't he been debunked up until now is the question. Like, he could have said all of the shit he wanted, you know, like, maybe some of the shit that he said is true, maybe some isn't, but you'd think that after hundreds of years, we would at least say that, yeah, this is bad, this is good, but like, we stopped teaching the bad, and we stopped calling him the father of psychology, because it gives psychology a bad name. He projected from his own generation and culture. I don't know, it's just weird. I love the smell of a dumpster fire in the morning. Smells like victory. And sweet baby, does this smell like a dumpster fire? Yeah, so I studied psychology at the college level. Most of it is shit, but you are meant to look at it like blind men studying an elephant. Each one describing the part that they touch is wrong. If that is a science, then it's wrong. Like, I'm sorry. No, like a scientific field shouldn't be studied like blind people touching an elephant. And you're throwing darts at random hoping that one would stick. No, like that is pseudoscience. That is not scientific. Anyway, right, so going to what Alex said. The thing with Gamergate, right, like the initial movement, it relied on the fact that the normies didn't know what a leftist is. Right, so like the normies were clueless. They didn't know. It's like, oh well, feminism is about women, and these people just want tolerance and equality, and they're not bad people, and you know they're getting harassed by the internet because the internet is edgy, and there's a lot of bad people on the internet. They don't have this luxury now. Everyone knows what a leftist is. Everyone knows what they're doing to video games. We can look at what happened to video games that have been affected by Sweet Baby and compare them to video games that haven't. Like, we do not live in the unknown anymore. So they're kind of screwed because of that. It's not scientific at all except neuropsychology. Well, neuropsychology is a different field. Yes, that is correct. No, but like the thing with Sweet Baby, like we know that their stories are bad. And it's even more telling. I don't know how many of you watched my video. The one that I made yesterday where I showed like the representative of Sweet Baby like talking about how she played Mass Effect 2. And there was like this point where you meet Jacob and she was playing a black character and she was like in tears, like she was emotional because she's playing a video game where two black people are talking to each other. And I'm like, well, what the fuck? Like, Mass Effect 1 had that. Like, it had the Admiral Anders. And if you play a black character, you speak with Admiral Anders, right? Baldur's Gate 1 had that. Like, if you play the black character in Baldur's Gate 1, you had Yoshibo, right? So, like, severe lack of understanding of video games pretends that the video game that she is playing is, like, the first one ever to have, like, two black people talking to each other. Says that Jacob isn't a criminal, even though he is, because he's working for Cerberus in Mass Effect 2. Like, it's a terrorist organization. A very racist one at that, right? Like, complete lack of understanding. And then she says, I took a picture and I showed it to my friend. And it's like, yeah, so you took a picture of, like, two black people talking and you showed it to probably, like, your white woman friend, like in order to put the guilt on her, right? Like, to make, like, look what you're doing, look what you're doing, look what your culture has done to me. Like, look how happy I am. Like, why couldn't you make me happy until now? You know, like that type of thing. Yoshimo is Asian. I seem to remember that his skin tone was black. Maybe I'm wrong. Apparently, Vakigar is black. Doesn't change my argument. There were black people in Baldur's Gate. Like, there was a lot of diversity before, I mean, okay, let me show you something. Let me show you something, okay? American Outlier. Look at the screen. Look at the screen. I'm going to show you something. Hopefully, hopefully I'm not going to get a copyright issue on this. But this is what I grew up with, right? And no one had the problem with it, and this is before the Diversity Council became a thing. Oh my gosh, she is but a child, and look how she is dressed. Oh, the humanity! Oh no! This is what people will probably say today, right? If you have an anime girl dressed like this, they freak out on Twitter. I'm not kidding. It's a legit thing. Like, it happens. Like, you go like, they do this with My Hero Academia. It's an anime that has absolutely no porn in it. Like, it's T for teens, and they're like, oh my god. And by the way, the anime girls, they're dressed like this. And they're freaking the fuck out. It's like, no, the Diversity Council would never allow it. But yeah, so like this was promoting health. Like there was this saying when I grew up, healthy body and healthy mind. Sorry, healthy mind and healthy body. Right? Like they were basically promoting workout. You know, it's cool. You gotta be like Mr. T. Look, right? Diverse characters. Oh my fucking god, how did they do it without consultants? How did they do it without promoting, without paying for the diversity officers, huh? This is in the, what, in the 80s? In the 80s, holy shit. Look at this. Look. Oh my god, diversity without the diversity hags. How is it possible? I was told that America was a systemically racist and oppressive and systemically systems of capitalism that looms down on minority. What am I seeing here? This is in the 80s. I was told that every single villain is a minority. And this is what I was told by consultants and grifters. It's like, well, before they came, minorities were villains, and it's like, look at this. Look at this. And by the way, they would say, oh, if Mr. T was not today, you would complain about wokeness and diversity and blah, blah, blah. They weren't bragging about it. Like when you saw a Mr. T commercial, it showed Mr. T and giving you some life advice. Like when a new kid comes on the block, what is the first thing that you wonder? You wonder if that kid can contribute, like how can you use him? Only a fool, things like that. You know, like he was like basically giving you life advice and bits of wisdom on how to be a better person. And it wasn't racial at all. It was like, no, like just day-to-day occurrences. Right. This is just one of the cartoons that I grew up with. Like, there's many more like this. This is like the norm. Asmongold just had an interview with the guy that made the Steam Baby Curator. Meaning that the tracker is gonna get more followers. Anyway, right, hold on. Back to Mr. T. That boss is like 12 feet wide. It's the magic of the 80s. It's the magic of the 80s. Mr. T always said to work out and drink milk. And to also congregate at the local youth center. Mr. T is Florida, man. Yeah. It is the A-Team? That was what it's called? The thing is, like, a lot of the stuff in the 80s don't really make sense. Like, people are like, oh my god, how big is the table? The man wrestled a shark. Sorry, the man wrestled a crocodile. The man swam under the crocodile without the crocodile noticing. And then without having any leverage, while in the water, he spun the crocodile by his tail and the crocodile couldn't react. And you're worried about, like, how big that table was? Shut the fuck up. No, but like almost every single cartoon that I grew up with had diversity in it. Like, it wasn't, but the thing is, like, it also had sexy women in it, or at least, like, for example, the Centurions had like a really hot lady. Centurions TV show. Where the heck is she? Ah. I mean, for the graphics at the time, it was hot. Okay, take my word for it. But yeah. So like most cartoons, they had like beautiful women in it, like here as well. If you do this today, they will say, oh my god, she is but a child. Oh, but a child. She's 17. The reality is that they hate the male gaze, right? It's not that they care about the age of the fictional character, who can't consent anyway. But it is what it is. By the way, let me show you what they did. Just so you know why I'm bringing it up. Let me just scroll down a little bit until I can see it. Here we go. This is the Battletoads villain character. This is how she looked like when I grew up. And this is the remake, right? Bland and forgettable. Where's the thick? Even the pilot episode got it right. Afraid to hurt subjective sensibilities does not denote intimidation. Because at the end of the day, like, that's the thing. Like, they refuse to believe that a woman looking like this is intimidating. Like, she can use her sexuality, like, capable of sending men to the kitchen. Yeah. Like, if you go in a bar and a woman that looks like this is there, most weak men would even be unable to make eye contact with her. They would not even be able to strike a conversation. They would be like, if a woman like that goes in front of a judge, she would get minimum sentencing. For what? Doesn't matter. Any crime she commits, she would get minimum sentencing from a judge. Don't forget the Herculoids. I genuinely, how can I forget if I don't know it? The original Dark Queen even spoke like a wrestler. She was a badass. Yeah, but like, the thing is, this is what I don't get, right? Like, they will say that representation matters and that every character on the screen is a representative of the demographic. However, why would anyone want to be represented by ugly people? Like, think about it this way. I think it was Milo or Ben Shapiro. I forgot which one of them. They went in front of a group of students. And many of them were liberals as well. And he asked the question, would you rather be ugly or would you rather be a minority? And not a single person wanted to be ugly. right? Like if racism is like so bad in America and minorities are so oppressed, why is it that everyone doesn't want to be ugly? Like you would think that, well, I mean, if you're in Nazi Germany, right, and people ask you, like, do you want to be ugly or do you want to be Jewish? Like, everyone would be like, well, I know what Nazis do to Jewish people. Holy shit, no. Like, I'd rather be ugly, right? Because you actually, like, if you're in communism, and in communism, it's like, do you want to be a member of the aristocracy? Like, do you want to have family ties to the aristocracy, or do you want to be ugly? Well, shit, I'd rather be ugly. I mean, I know what the communists do to the upper classes. I know what they do to the kulaks. I don't want to be a kulak, right? But in America, everyone is like, well, I would rather just, be a minority. I saw Dark Queen art once as a child, and it was the only motivation I had to fight her in the game as an 8-year-old. I remember there was this chick, god damn it, I forgot her name, Elvira. No, it wasn't Elvira the Evil. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. Thank you for the donation, Puzzle. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. Yeah. So, let me see if it's... Apparently she's like 80 now and she still looks the same. Like, she was very popular when I grew up. She was in a lot of movies. And again, like, no one had a problem with it. Like, back then, sexuality wasn't suppressed on TV. Curse words were, right? So, like, if she said fuck, then she would have gotten canceled. But, like, none of this was a problem. Everything was fine. And there were a lot of video games and stuff, and it was for teenagers. It was for people 14 and up. But anyway. It's just weird, because, like, I grew up like this. And, like, all of a sudden, it's a problem now, and I have to wonder, like, did I grow up wrong? Did I do anything bad? But this was like evil bitches are hot, right? Thank you, Puzzle. I already thanked you, yeah. I think she even had the video game. Yeah, she is another unfortunate victim of Trump derangement syndrome. Yeah, like she actually did freak out about Trump. She is releasing a comic book. Like, this is recent, was like last 2 years. Again, like she's 70 or something, and she still looks like that. I think I talked about it. Hold on, Elvira. Let me see if I can find. Okay. So she's got a YouTube channel actually. Toman? Like when I looked at the Wikipedia, I couldn't believe my eyes. Like, she's 70, chat.
No, I did not date them all. Well, just 3 out of 4. They all rode on 2 wheels, and now you can too.
So, she's selling a comic book or something. Her channel has got like 40,000 subscribers. Honestly, like, she could do a really good VTuber. This is her comic, I think. Death of Elvira, Dynamite Comics, Indiegogo. Like, this is what she's selling. And, yeah, I mean, it's... I don't know how she... Maybe she actually is a witch. If you can look at that like her age. Man, I wish me or my wife would look at that. I don't think like makeup is a miracle, because I know that there are a lot of other people her age, and even with the power of makeup, they still cannot reach that level of perfection. According to her books, she still follows a very strict diet and exercise regime for her age. Oh, that I guess like that makes sense. Elvira the VTuber. Unironically, if Elvira contacts me, I would make her a VTuber. A VTube model that she can use this. If she gets in touch with me, I'd be like, okay, Elvira, listen. I will give you a VTube model, teach you how to use it. Assuming that you're willing to do at least 1 video per week, right? Because like, it costs around $2,000 to make a VTube model. Probably more, because the art is also there, so it's expensive. But you know what? Fuck it. For you, Elvira, why not? You made my childhood great. I will give you something in return. I would have to save money though, because it's like, fuck, it's a huge expense. But I just, it would be worth it. Let's make it happen, chat. Back in the day, she made a really funny horror RPG that was actually very good for its time. Yeah, I remember that. Hoard all the media she's been on. Craft the AI, run that shit. You can actually make ChatGPT talk like Elvira. Elvira? Oh, I see. The AI already immortalized her. Cured her Trump derangement syndrome? I think it's already cured. I think like once her taxes started coming, I think like once Bidenomics hit, I think her TDS is lower than what it used to be, if not outright cured. I'm willing to speculate. I don't know for sure, but I have this feeling. How many people would listen to an anime goth granny? Yeah, at least 1 million. Unironically, like if she actually made a VTube channel, and I would get like Pipkin Pippa and other people to promote her, she would become huge. Like if people knew, like, okay, so this is Elvira, and she's like, what, like 70, and she's VTubing? My God, like the entire internet would be there. I mean, she also has experience in entertainment, so like, no, I think she would do a spectacular job. Thing is, like, I don't know whether she has the time, you know, because that's also a question. Like, I don't know what she does in her free time. I know she's making a comic book, but like, I don't know anything else, so. Elvira has pool, generational pool. TikTokers can't have that. Yeah, I mean, a lot of boomers would watch it. Like, you would get the initial ball rolling. A lot of people would be there. It's like, well, Elvira is performing again? Hold on. How old is she? I need to check. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark Age. So she was born in 1951. Let me distract. So 2024 minus... Jesus fucking Christ. She is 73 years old, chat. And she's from Kansas. She said that as a child, she was more fascinated by horror-themed toys, while other girls liked Barbie dolls. In elementary school, she watched House of Haunted Hill, which was the first horror film she saw. By the way, back then, watching a horror film was like a huge thing. Like, that was adults only. It was like, oh my God, you're watching horror. Pearson worked as a drag queen. Wait, can a woman be a drag queen? I felt like only men can be drag. Go-go dancer in Colorado Spring. In a Colorado gay bar. Oh, I see. Nightclub in Colorado Springs. And for the soldier from she graduated from Palmer School, High Springs. I didn't know that. She got divorced in 2003. Oh, there we go. If you want to be a VTuber, you gotta advertise the availability. Even if you're not going to be with any of them, it's like the prospect that you're single is what drives the fans. It's what gets people to super chat. This remorse, is it scrumptious? Thank you, Brandon K, for being a member for 10 months. She's a Peterson related to Jordan, no. She's not transgender. Jesus. Her name is Cassandra Peterson. Unrealized film projects. Apparently, she had plans for an Edward Scissorhands inspired animated feature. It's interesting. She was a vegan for many years. And from 2021, she continued a mostly vegan diet. Yeah, no vegan. Oh my God, look at it. Holy shit, look how many movies she starred in. So 1971, she started as a dancer. Then, like, look. Holy shit. A 40-second viral video that spoofed a campaign ad by US Senate. Elvira's not a witch. Wait, even in 2022? Okay, so in 2022 she did a documentary. Oh, she did a special. Dota? She comes in Dota, Dragon's Blood? Netflix and Chills with Dr. Elvira. Netflix Shorts. Wait, Happy Halloween, Scooby-Doo. How many things that she started that I had absolutely no fucking idea? Call of Duty, Infinite Warfare. Oh, see, I wanted to hire her for my video game, but I don't think I have the money. Here is some money for my favorite Romanian troll. It's been a while. Why, thank you, Cancer Watch 49er, but I still don't think it's enough to get Elvira for my video game. Thank you, Sock and Pupe. I missed you. I miss Sock and Pupe sparking out in the chat. I haven't made fun of Sock and Pupe in a while. I remember his drunken rants in my DMs. I did miss them. I know she's a pretty good voice actor. Like, I want to have, like, only English people in my in my video game. Like, only English voice actors. But when it comes to Elvira, fuck it. Fuck it, I'll have her in. Just make a character just for her. The Mistress of the Night does have friends in high places, yes. This is why I'm saying, like, she would actually make a great VTuber. I don't think she knows what VTubing is, but, like, if I sit her down and I explain it to her, it's like, okay, so you can be this anime girl. And people don't get to see you, but, like, if you move around, it's... Like, you don't need makeup, you don't need lights, you don't need anything. You have this anime girl and you move around and people see that. And it's very popular. And you get a lot of super chats. She'll probably be like, well... Yeah, it's more like for a voice acting gig. No diversity. Well, actually, I do have diversity quota in my voice acting hiring. I do not hire a single guy. Like, due to the nature of my video game, no men are going to get hired. Goth Granny is more up to date than... She doesn't even look like a granny. Like, that's the thing. Like, when I saw her, I said that, wow, she looks like 25, 30. So fucking weird. And people say makeup, and it's like, no, I'm sorry, no. Like makeup has its limits. Just, I mean, there's other grandmas that would want that makeup if that's true, but... Anyway, chat, I want you to tell me something. Okay. There's this video that's going viral. And it shows this interaction that's taking place here, right? And a lot of people, leftists especially, because you can look into their bios and you can see if it's a left-leaning or right-leaning person. They're upset that the cameraman didn't try to rescue the little Bambi there. And my answer is like, okay, so what does the cat eat then? Like, do you expect the cat to go to the supermarket? How does it work? Like the cat requires food to survive. If it doesn't eat, it starves to death. The cat eats cute things on a daily basis. How, right? Like, it's so fucking bizarre. So, like, you want the cameraman, I suppose, to go and intervene in order to save the cat. So as to save Bambi. Okay, now the cat won't die if you save Bambi, but, like, are you going to save the next one as well? And how many? Like, and if you could save all of the Bambis, then how is the cat going to survive? My fucking god, like some people literally don't think that they see, oh my god, cute animal, I need to rescue. Hold on, YouTube monthly policy. As part of our monthly policy, we have new updates. Holy shit. Upcoming changes to harmful and dangerous policy. It will have a stricter stance on audience disclaimers and update guidelines to better assess the risk of potential harm of the act portrayed. Changes to community posts. To help protect the YouTube community, creators need to have access to advanced features in order to pin comments on community posts. Or to add clickable external links. See, this is why I don't use community posts. The last thing that I would want is to get in trouble because I made an edgy community post or some shit. If I don't community post at all, they can't do shit. Settings unauthorized, uploaded videos to private. Starting March 19, we may in some cases automatically set some videos to private when we may detect they may have been uploaded and published without the channel owner's knowledge or permission. Okay, that's reasonable. Updated to our privacy request process. Since March, YouTube is beginning to expand its privacy request policy to allow individuals in the US and India to request the removal of any AI-generated or other synthetic or altered content on YouTube that looks or sounds like them. This is good. No, unironically, this is good. Like, if someone impersonates a content creator, if someone makes an Asmongold video that looks like Asmongold and Asmongold starts dropping the N-words like it's the new rap album. Yeah, I think that Asmongold should be able to remove that if it's AI-generated. And it's not specific that, hey, you know, like, we made this as a joke. This is satire. But anyway, right, let's see what the guideline for harmful or dangerous content is. You know, YouTube actually has, like, these videos where you learn.
True or false? Making a video where your friend appears to choke you and you challenge others to try it is okay as long as no one gets hurt.
No, this would be a community guideline violation.
In your video. The answer is false. Content that encourages illegal or dangerous activities is not allowed on YouTube. Neither is content that risks serious physical harm or death. A video that depicts illegal or dangerous acts may be allowed if the primary purpose is educational, documentary, scientific, or artistic.
This is because they got in trouble with the Tide Pods shit. And they also, like many of these things come because of real mortal panic. So the Tide Pods, and it was also the Fire Challenge. The Fire Challenge actually got people killed. It was like the most dumb shit ever. It was literally set yourself on fire challenge. So like people would do that, and then they would jump into a water or something. But other people did it in homes, and they got like severe burns and someone even died. And it's like, because of that, now you can't show videos of people doing parkouring. You can't show extreme skateboarding. You can't show any of that because it's like dangerous and extreme. Like, oh god. But it's usually due to the moral panics.
And it isn't gratuitously graphic. For example, a news piece on the dangers of choking games would be appropriate, but posting clips out of context with the intent to shock viewers might not be. Let's take a look at another example. A creator uploads a video about how to make a rocket using baking soda, vinegar, and an empty bottle.
This is allowed.
They encourage viewers to try the scientific experiment with adult supervision. In another video, a creator shows how to make Molotov cocktails.
This is not allowed.
And encourages people to use them for riots. Do either of these videos violate?
Yeah, first one's fine, second one not.
Our community guidelines? Yes, the second video violates the harmful dangerous policy. YouTube does not allow instructional bomb or explosive making when the main purpose of the produced item is to cause serious injury. But what about prank and challenge videos?
If you make it absolutely clear that it's a prank and it's not directed to causing distress or harm to a child, then it's allowed.
Do those violate YouTube's community guidelines? To learn that and more.
To be honest, I do agree with the prank shit. This is the Johnny Somali thing. You know, again, it's like a mortal panic, which pisses off enough people to the point that YouTube steps in. The thing with the the pranks is that you had like people actually going out and harassing other members. Like I don't want to go out in a park and get harassed by a chucklehead so he gets views on stream, right? It was that case in the UK where they took the dog of a lady and ran away with it, like pretending that they're going to steal it. And it's like, imagine you were walking in the park and some twat takes your dog. Like, it's not about free speech, right? Because I'm not upset that I can see that on YouTube. What upsets me is that if I was in real life and someone did something to me just so they can get views on social media, that pisses me the fuck off. People going away due to eating Tide Pods or setting themselves is natural selection. Yeah, well, it's all fun and games until your kid does it, I guess. God. There's videos on YouTube of people boiling floor detergents, basically giving themselves chemical inhalation. I mean, there are certain things that some people did that you wouldn't know they're dangerous. I think like the dry ice challenge was one of them. Like there was a time when you had like all these challenges online, one more harmful than another. But some of them, like, you wouldn't know just how bad they are. Other, like, you know, like the setting yourself on fire, like that's obviously wrong. Like that's obviously not going to end well. And then you had like challenges that were disgusting. It's like going into a supermarket and spitting inside an ice cream, right? Now, even if the person would have bought that ice cream outside of the camera, like the very fact that they did it online, it's no. The ice bucket challenge, that was fine, right? Like that was fine. But others not so much. It's not that your kid is too stupid. It depends like how old the kid is, right? Like if your kid is 4, right? It's also like part of naturalistic. Like when you see something colorful, you associate it with candy when you're at a young age. So, anyway, right, I'll end it here. I'm going to go to upload the videos on my secondary channel. So thank you guys a lot for watching. I appreciate it. Slime Musama still hasn't come back. One day, my Japanese friend Slime is going to return, but it's not today. I'll see you guys